Hey everyone, this is Miranda, your personal development partner. You're welcome to Elevate. On this channel, we discuss everything personal development, entrepreneurship, and technology. And today's topic is a very interesting one. We are so privileged to have a public speaking guru with us who will be teaching us how to overcome stage fright and deliver a captivating presentation. You won't want to miss this for any reason. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Elevate with Miranda. I know. Oh, let me ask you this question first. Have you ever felt butterflies in your belly when you're about giving a presentation in front of an audience? Or have you ever prepared and planned a remarkable presentation, and when you climb on stage, you get tongue-tied? Today, we are here to conquer that fear. I have with me an expert in public speaking, ADDY, SACKEY, who is not only a tech entrepreneur, but he has moved from being an accountant to starting an agri-tech business. One thing I know Bernard for, and I'm so sure about, is his expertise in delivering captivating presentations. So Bernard, I'm so excited to hear from you. I know about your expertise in public speaking, and I just can't wait to beat that stage fright. How are you doing?
Miranda, thank you so much. I mean, the accolades are too much. I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru yet. I'm still learning.
You're still learning, but exactly. I know, at least I know you for that. I know you're so good at public speaking.
I'm honored. Okay. But thank you. Right.
Okay.
I'm so excited to be on this channel and to be a part of this journey with you. And I'm willing and ready to share my experience with you and see how best we can impact whoever is listening.
Thank you so much. So before we start, I'd like you to introduce yourself briefly. Tell us something interesting about Bernard. I know there are a lot of interesting things about you and what you're doing right now. I know you're working with ADDY, so just a bit of it.
Right. So my name is Bernard ADDY SACKEY. I'm Ghanaian. Okay. I'm with the MEST program with Miranda as well, an EIT, entrepreneur in training. And like she said, I transitioned from accounting, that's dealing with numbers, to exploring something that was less boring than accounting. And I found my feet in the coding space, or in the software entrepreneurship space. And I've been at it. I mean, there are hurdles here and there, but then I've been at it going strong. And hopefully we see the light over there and cash out big when it's time or when it's due. Okay. Yeah. So I'm working currently with an agri-tech startup called AgriGuard. As the name suggests, we are the guardians of agriculture. Right. But I'll give you more details as time goes on. Okay. Right. Yeah.
And you didn't mention Bernard is a very good front-end developer. And even mobile developer. So I've worked with him as well. He's very good at that. So now talking about public speaking, the reason we are here today. So I don't know, I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs or tech developers, they struggle a lot with public speaking, and I know it is a critical skill in entrepreneurship because it determines, maybe even in getting funding, pitching your ideas is a skill that I think every entrepreneur should have, and even when it comes to leading your team. So but it just happens that a lot of people, I read an article that says I think public speaking is the second thing people fear after death.
That's right.
Yeah. So before we start into how to defeat that fear, will you share with us what's the reason? Why are people so afraid of public speaking?
I think the number one reason is anxiety. And the reason behind anxiety, I've come to realize I wasn't a perfect public speaker to begin with. Okay. I had to be coached and be groomed by another guru. But yeah, the fear of anxiety cripples all of us, especially when we have to stand in front of a crowd to just speak to them or share our thoughts with them. But then I realized that to battle that anxiety is normal. What we need is practice, constant practice. And I feel like that's what a lot of people lack within the public speaking space. For instance, myself, before I even step out to speak to somebody or to speak to a crowd, I have to practice repeatedly, countless times, get to know my script, get to know my body movements, get to know how I'm going to pause my breaths I take before I can deliver any captivating pitch to the crowd.
Like how many times? When you say you practice several times, like how many times?
To be honest, sometimes I lose count. But yeah, as much as possible in a day or within a session, I could time myself maybe in a 2-hour session, 6 minutes per session. I could end up doing maybe at least maybe 5 or 6 times, going 5 or 6 times here.
So that means until you master it.
Until
so you know when you're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think one thing people are so afraid when in front of a public is when you yourself, you are not confident.
Exactly.
You are not so sure of that you know what you want to deliver, right?
Exactly.
But if you've prepared so well, you're confident of your script.
Exactly.
I think you kind of reduce that fear.
Exactly.
And I would like to know, I think, has there been any time where you got in front of a stage and then maybe you got tongue-tied because you've transitioned from accounting to tech developing? I don't know if you have an experience in agriculture before now.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
So I'm saying that you have been pivoting from one pivot to another. And then I'm feeling like maybe every time you have to pitch and then you in your mind, you know that this thing, you're not an expert in this, you're still new. And then how do you overcome that, let's say imposter syndrome maybe? Has there been a way?
So like I earlier said, the first thing is practice. I mean, if you know what you're about, or if you know whatever you're going to say to the public, you don't necessarily have to be an expert in it. And thankfully, I'm surrounded by a team full of experts in the agri space. So that is one confidence booster for me. And the second thing is, like I said, it's the constant practice. I don't necessarily have to be an expert in the field to be able to know what I'm about. Right? Once I've done my research, once I know how to deliver what I'm supposed to deliver, that is it. That's the second confidence booster for me. So I'll say to everyone, find yourself with the right team if you're not expert in the field, and also do your personal research. And thirdly, just practice. Keep on practicing.
Okay. So now what are you spoke about researching. So you're researching on the subject you want to present.
Exactly.
And then maybe researching on all possible questions. Because I think at times maybe the problem might also come with you're thinking, what would they ask me after this? What if they ask I cannot answer? So you're researching on that. And so now for somebody who wants to give a presentation, what should the person focus on to put together to have a very good presentation?
That's a very good question. So typically for me, one of my secrets to giving a compelling pitch or a compelling speech is I typically craft my pitch around a story, one that either resonates with me or resonates with somebody I know. And I think it's one of the things that we've been taught at MEST, and it's one of the things that I also look out for during my research journey. So I typically look out for pitches that revolve around crafting a story around a user persona or somebody that has gone through or resonates with the problem we are trying to resolve, right? And that's the things that have worked for me. I mean, the 2 times you see me pitch.
Are you sure it's just 2 times? I think I've seen you more than 2 times.
I mean, the 2 major times. Exactly. You see me pitch. Those 2 times, those pivotal moments, I had to craft a story around a particular person who resonated with the problem. And when you start with that, it's easy to carry the person throughout the story. Exactly. So if you have anyone in mind, you know resonates with the problem, right? And you can craft your story around that person. It's easy to carry the person from the beginning to the end. And you'll be able to deliver a very compelling pitch.
That is interesting. So you should have someone, but there must be somebody, because I wanted to ask, what if you don't know anyone that is going through that problem? But I think if you're solving the problem, that means you should know somebody. Right? So maybe just think about that person and try to put yourself in the person's shoes. So how do you get your users engaged? You know, because the way when you talk, there's a way, I've seen people pitching, like some people pitch with different stories. Some stories you see that this story makes sense, but the way they deliver it, people cannot really feel the emotions. But when you pitch, you're talking, someone might even cry, like so much emotions, a lot. You talk, you move, and then there's a time when you go calm after you. So how do you make people to really feel that problem you are feeling?
I don't know if it's too far-fetched to say, but then I feel like, first of all, it has to do with my personality. I've been told a lot, and I know myself that I'm a very calm person, right? So I typically ride on that as a compliment to be able to deliver my pitches. Because again, to be able to carry that emotion in you and tell that story that you want to tell, in a compelling way, you need to first tap into your inner self. And trust me, everybody has that inner self that is calm. You might not know it, or you might not see it yet, but then I was not always this calm. There was a point in my life where I was very extroverted, very outgoing, very rowdy, right? But then I had to go through that phase of tapping into my inner self, of searching for that calm Bernard, right? And being able to ride on that to be able to deliver my pitches. And I'm saying, everyone has that inner self that is the calm person. You just need to find that and tap into it and be able to deliver that compelling pitch.
So you're saying it is important for you to be calm when delivering. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's what works for me. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I remember you told me, you gave me this tip and it changed everything.
Exactly.
My last presentation, so Ben, I had to go to Bernard to tell me what he does for because he always gives this emotional. So Bernard, okay. So Bernard, I noticed his speeches are always so emotional, so captivating and engaging. So I had to go to him and ask him to tell me, give me the secret. So he asked me to go slowly. Yeah. And I realized when I go slowly, there's a way I convey emotions.
Exactly.
You talk, you take your time to talk. And then people, they kind of feel it inside of them, right? So I think even if you're a fast talker like me, when giving a presentation, be intentional about how you speak. And then are there some other tips, like maybe looking at people, talking?
Right, that's quite good. So I've also heard from people that, you know, their cause for the anxiety when they're speaking to people is the fact that they have to deal with looking at or having people look at them, and that makes them more anxious. Now, the rule of thumb is to gaze at the forehead or on top of their head, and always ensure that your eye movement is not fixed on one person. So you are around the room. That way, you are not, your subconscious or your brain is not thinking about what is this other person looking at me so much for. You understand me? Exactly. And you're not distracted or thrown off course by somebody who is maybe looking at you strangely. Because I, for one, I've realized that sometimes when you look at one person so much in the crowd, that person might not get you or get your problem, and that might throw you off a bit. And when that happens, you become anxious and you are thinking the demons in your head start talking to you, and then they derail you off the pitch you have to deliver that has to be compelling. So again, like I said, to summarize, the rule of thumb: gaze at their foreheads or above their heads, and ensure that your eyesight revolves around the room. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, this is really true, because I remember I was a part of a presentation, and the person pitching was concentrating on one section of the room. I don't know, at one point I felt irritated, because I was like, is it that it doesn't concern me?
Right.
And maybe because the members of the jury were on one side, but I felt like, because I've taken my time to be a part of this, you have to talk to me, look at me as well, as if, so that I can connect to this problem.
Exactly.
So I think it's very important to give a fair look at the entire room, every corner, because you don't even know who where your investor will be coming from. It could just be someone from the crowd. Yeah. And now I think we're already running out of time. My last question for you, Bernard: if you're to coach a young entrepreneur who is getting into, the person is excited about tech, entrepreneurship, and this person has stage fright, he doesn't know how to go about pitching his business. So can you give maybe 3 actionable tips that this person has no idea in pitching? So you, as an expert, can you just give a very quick tip to this person?
Again, I'm not an expert. I'm a learner, and I'm always learning.
You as a learner.
Right, exactly. Yes. So, I mean, I've said this at the beginning. Practice. Own your worth, right? Own what you know. Keep practicing. Once you keep on practicing, you know what you are worth. You know what you're going to say. You know what you're going to deliver. And you will never be derailed. Okay. So always practice, research, right? And I recommend maybe Anya can place some recommendations or some video links to deliver a compelling pitch in the comments. So I'll leave that with her so she can add that. Okay. And like I said, practice, research, and then when you stick to gazing around the room, right, looking at the forehead or above the head, trust me, you'll be good. And one of my mantras in life is just do it. Because what's the worst that could come out of it?
Just do it.
Just understand. Okay. Think about it. What's the worst that will come out of it? Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, we are done. But do you have any routine before pitching? Is there anything you do?
Oh yeah. I mean, I told you at the beginning, I'm a very calm person, but
Okay.
trust me, sometimes I have my anxieties before I give a compelling pitch.
Okay.
So usually what I do is to check my breath, right? And also drink a lot of water. Ensure do not enter a room to give a pitch with your mouth dry. That will add to your anxiety.
Okay.
So ensure that your mouth is okay to be able to exactly salivated to be able to give that pitch that you want to give, right? And also work on your breath. Take deep breaths before you enter the room to give your pitch, right? And I'll end again. Lastly, always practice.
This is very important. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been an insightful moment with you, Bernard. You know, people always say like you can just give your pitch on the go, but for me, no, don't do impromptu pitches.
Exactly.
Take time to practice. Practice, and it will boost your confidence when in front of your audience. We are talking about investors. We are talking about that business idea you've spent months working on. So you don't just want to mess it up. So practice. Be sure of what you want to deliver, and when you go there, your confidence will be right up there. So it's been an amazing time with you, Bernard. I really appreciate you shared a lot of things, and I know the next time I'm standing to pitch my business, I'll kill it.
I know you will. I mean, you're already doing that with Kello, so that's amazing, right?
Yeah, I'm learning as well. I'm learning. Okay. So if you enjoyed this session with Bernard, remember to give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe on the channel. If you have more questions for Bernard, feel free to comment, or you check his LinkedIn details, or link your LinkedIn details in my description section. So connect with Bernard, ask him questions. As I mentioned, he's also a front-end developer. Maybe you have a project you want to work with him. I think he's available. You are, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.